It's a really chilly morning here in New Orleans. We're here looking at a CM1500 tube blower. They called me up and said, Barry, we're putting material in there, and then all of a sudden the machine stops on us. So this machine is quite old. It was old when they got it, well used. We replaced a couple of blowers here earlier this spring, about 7 months ago. And now I think because of the age of this, they need to replace their agitator motor. As you can see, to change out the inline reducer, also known as the gearbox, and the agitator, it doesn't take a whole lot of tools. One of the things you may need to get that's a specialty item, you can get it at AutoZone for 30 bucks, is this puller, and use this to heat up, to just take the sprocket off the old one, and then that way you can reuse the key. But yeah, we have a screwdriver, hammer, straight edge for lining up the gears, as you'll see in the video. SAE American measurement for your hex keys. Just some pliers. We have 9/16, 3/4 inch wrenches. Just a small flat bladed screwdriver, a knife. This is especially helpful. This is a number 4 Phillips head screwdriver to use to get those larger screws out of the bottom of that plate underneath the gearbox. And then just 3 sockets, 1/4 inch, and we have 9/16 and 5/8. You can see here how packed the cellulose is. This would be the first place I would start, is by seeing what's going on here mechanically. So let's move this cellulose out of the way and clean this up a little bit. Okay, the chains are still shiny. Of course I changed those out earlier this year, so, but still, it's all this stuff is not good. You gotta get all this out. Removing the gearbox, also called the inline reducer, and the agitator. This is a single unit, and that's a single unit. We have 4 bolts on this plate that we're going to remove. We already took the chains off, and now I'm working on getting the socket here removed so that we can rewire it. It's pretty much that simple.
You said gearbox. Where's that?
This is the gearbox.
Okay.
Also called an inline reducer.
Then you got the bolts here.
The bolts here. Got 4 of these.
And where's the other 2?
Behind the agitator.
The agitator.
We're removing these 2 little screw bolts.
Just this one?
Yep, just this one. This is the agitator plug on this particular machine. Okay. These sockets are pretty simple to understand how they wire. You've got some color-coded screws in here, so the green wire will go on the green, the white goes on the clear, uncolored one, and the black one just goes on the brass. Green is the only one that really matches the color, but it's not too difficult to figure out. We got this loose. What we're doing now is we're going to remove the whole assembly from the plate here. It's all threaded through the plate, which makes it nice. You're not dealing with lock washers or and it just slides right off. We're going to reuse this plate, which is only 4 mega Phillips screws right there. Let's clean this up a little bit. We're going to remove the plate from the old one. That's got a nut on it. And a lock washer. I'm just putting the plate in the same position and remembering what I did. Make sure that the lock washer goes on first and then the nut. I'm just going to put them on finger tight and then come back and tighten them all down. We're going to take the cord from the old one and put it into the new box.
What we're going to note is that we've got different colors here. We've got the black going to the blue. I always like to take a picture when I'm working on this so that I know how to put it back together. And we got the white going to the red, white, and yellow. And then we have this switch here, this breaker, going back into the black and the orange. So this one has a set screw. Undo that. Close it out. I'll just slip that right over what I just twisted up. It doesn't have to be torqued down very hard, and I just learned you don't spin these on very hard either. Just set it in place. The green grounding plug goes right there. And there's a lock nut on the other side of this. You just spin that right off. Just removed that green neutral. Make sure before you tighten put any of the wires in that you put that lock over back over that. And we'll get the ground in place first. And then this is the wire clamp that's going to hold the wires in the housing. We get that situated. I'll put this lock nut back on there. And then get my screwdriver. Now it's secure. So I need the red, white, and yellow. Two whites, yellow, and red all combine on this one. And be careful because this is a slippery plate. Just kind of hold it in place. The awesome thing about Cool Machines is this powder coating. They use it on all of the pieces, even these minor pieces that you normally wouldn't expect it. It does make it a little slippery, but I'll tell you, we're not having to replace these parts because they last a long time and they don't rust out. Now we have to put the sprocket on the end of our new gearbox, also called an inline reducer. You'll notice that there is a keyway on the shaft, and then we also have the keyway here. So we need a key to go in there, just a little square piece of stock metal, and that will keep this from losing spin. Right now, I'm going to slide this on there for the moment, just so that I don't lose it. And that's where you would line up the keys. Here is the key on the old one. We're just going to reuse that. But in order for me to get that key out of there, I got to take the sprocket off. So I got to clear out all this garbage here. There's so much cellulose impacted in here that I have to pick it out to get to that set screw there. Make sure these are not pressed on. It's just a set screw. You may have to dig it out a little bit. Sometimes these sprockets are on there pretty tight. So go to AutoZone, get yourself a gear puller. This is called a 2-jaw 5-ton puller. We're going to just use this to pull this right off. It's about $30 for this puller. I'm going to heat this up before I pull it off. the sprocket. We had to go to AutoZone as well to get this part apart. I didn't have it with me. And we're going to remove this. This comes from the factory. It's got to be removed before you use this. A little rubber piece. And the SAE is what you need to use for that. And it is a 7/32. So here's the key. Set the key inside of your sprocket and then line it up. Okay, now I'm going to persuade that key a little bit. But before I go too far, it needs to go in a little bit. So we're going to tap that gear in, make sure that we are level to this outside gear because the chain needs to run perfectly with this gear. Almost there. And once that's done, this is set. But one more thing we need to do is we need to set the set screws in. Got some Loctite thread locker. I'm using the red because it's permanent. We're just wiring the back up now again to the socket. There's slight charring on that prong. I don't have a replacement with me, but that's something that should really be watched and should be changed out. So watch your extension cords. You don't want that to get bad. So now I'm just putting that agitator plug back together. Green into green. White into the clear, and then black into the remaining one, which is brass colored. Before I screw everything in, I just want to make sure that we're running here. The chain's not on, so we're going to plug it in hot. Looks great. Sounds good too. Perfect. We're not getting that clunking sound that we had at the beginning. It's all set. Now we're going to reset the chain here. The big chain goes on the outside, or the longer chain goes on the inside, and then we're going to tighten that down. To properly tighten your chain, it doesn't take a lot of pressure, but what we are going to use is a big, nice, hefty screwdriver to just push it back up into place, taking slack out, and that's all we're worried about. Little slight firm pressure to take the slack out, and we'll tighten that tension bolt right up. 5 3/4 is what you need. Just going to drape that over, bring this back up. We're going to put a new master key on there. So here's a brand new master link. And these kinks down here can really kind of mess you up, so watch for those. There we go. Now it's slipped on easily. Put the blank on, and then your key. And sometimes using will help you slip that lock right into place. Make sure your chain is all properly flowing around these. So we're just going to use a screwdriver. Push there and tighten it up. And you're not cranking real hard on these. It's just going to be, just snug. There's no clunking, no clanking.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah.
Squeeze. Nice. Good stuff.
There you are.
Awesome.